and foremost, welcome to my home. I've lived here for the last 30 years, and I'm happy to have you here.
When we first announced that we shall be having this interview, we received overwhelming feedback from many Kenyans, especially Kenyans online, with many of them asking, why are we speaking to a tribalist, Mr. Gachagua?
Narratives are created in this country, and my former boss, William Ruto, is a master of narratives. He's very good. And when he's okay with you and you are friends, he says nice things about you. When I and him were getting along, when I was assisting to be president, he had very kind words about Rigathi Gachagua, a great mobilizer, a people's man, a great strategist, a man who loves the people, a man who cares about the people issues. But the minute we fell out, he labeled me as a tribalist. And it's something that he has been preaching in every meeting so that he can justify to the people of Kenya why, after I helped to make him president, he hounded me out of office. He had to create a narrative because he had to come with something that can sell. And before you is a great nationalist. He's a man who loves Kenya, who has never uttered anything negative against another community. He loves his community, yes, but that does not mean he hates other communities. I would challenge anybody with a single utterance that Rigathi Gachagua has ever made against another community. And if you want to know that this man is a nationalist, against all odds, when Uhuru Kenyatta, my kinsman and my former boss, wanted me to support Raila Odinga, and he is my kinsman, had I been tribal, I would have listened to Uhuru Kenyatta. I went ahead to support William Ruto. When I supported William Ruto, I knew he's not a Kikuyu, he's not Embu, he's not Meru, he's a Kalenjin, but I did support him. And my community, the one that I had, supported him to a man. In fact, we gave him 87% of our votes. And the other 13%, there was another guy from Kikuyuni called Mwaura. We didn't give him the 13%. We gave 13% to Raila Odinga alone. That tells you that Rigathi Gachagua and his people are not tribal. William Ruto and his community, how many votes did they give Raila Odinga? None. All their votes went to their man, their kinsman. But us, we gave 13% to Aluo, we gave 87% to a Kalenjin. And it's not that we did not know. We were quite conscious that they don't speak our language.
So, Mr. Gachagua, the people who are calling you a tribalist and those that are calling you an ethnic extremist are Kenyans, ordinary Kenyans. This is not the president speaking. These are ordinary Kenyans from all walks of life and not the president himself.
I am saying the narrative has been driven and perpetuated by William Ruto and his supporters, who are unhappy that I don't support him anymore, since they have nothing else against me. I'm a man of incredible integrity. I'm a man with proven track record of performance. They have nothing else they can say against Rigathi Gachagua. So William Ruto and his supporters, they are the ones you are calling Kenyans. So they are Kenyans, yes. They are the ones who drive that narrative.
So you are saying these are William Ruto's supporters uttering these ones, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua?
The ardent dwellers of this world, the Oscar Sudis of this world, the Farouk Kibets of this world. These are President William Ruto supporters. And their beef with me, when I was supporting William Ruto, they had very kind words for me. They were saying I'm the best guy they have ever met, a nationalist, a patriot. But when we parted ways and I decided to shift my support from him to elsewhere, the only thing they can do is call me a tribalist. I would like to challenge William Ruto and his cronies to produce a single video in this country regarding Gachagua making remarks that are negative against another community.
So, Mr. Rigathi Gachagua, when you went to the United States of America, we will see that you met Kenyans based on their tribal lines. We can see that you met the Kikuyus, you also met the Kambas, you also met the Kisis and the Somalis, I think, separately. So many Kenyans will then ask, why would you be comfortable meeting Kenyans along their tribal lines as opposed to their nationality?
If you go to the United States, people have community organizations that were not established by Rick G. I've not been to America for a long time. But when you go to America, you find the people from the mountain have their own organization. The Abagusi have their own organization. The Ma have their own organization. The Kamba people have their own organization. The Mlembe nation have their own organization. And let me tell you, people not pretend that communities don't sit together and talk the same language. God, in his own wisdom, created people with an identical language. And people tend to congregate around each other to discuss their issues. So when the Abagusi community invites me to address them in the United States, do I tell them I cannot meet you until you call the Kambas and you call the Maasai? I attend those meetings by invitation. You don't go to arrange people how to invite you. You own an invitation. If the Abagusi people say, come, first and foremost, I went to Baltimore, and the Abagusi people said, tomorrow is Sabbath day. Can you come and join us in church? I did. And when I was there in church, there was an interpreter. The preacher of the day was preaching in English, but there was an interpreter in Abagusi because those people speak their language. And by the way, let nobody feel embarrassed about speaking your language. Even the preamble of the Constitution acknowledges the ethnic diversity of the Kenyan nation and why people must be proud of where they come from. And that is why you find the Abagusi are in a church in Baltimore, and there is an interpreter to interpret the sermon in the Kisii language. That is the nature of the Kenyan nation.